a little bit about yourself and your experience before we actually get started here. We've got a couple minutes while we wait for people to join.
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Joel Tovi, and I'm an insurance agent with CIA. And the team that I work on specializes in FedEx contractors. And I came out of the staffing space within FedEx ground and moved into the insurance space. It was just kind of a natural progression. And I've got a lot of really great clients and really enjoy working in this side of the business. So.
My name is David Campbell. I also work at CIA. I guess you could say I'm Joel's boss. I've been with CIA for 4 years now. Prior to that, I was an underwriter for a workers' comp carrier and then an underwriter at a wholesale market / MGU, which all you need to know is it's workers' comp. So extensive experience in underwriting, extensive experience in workers' comp. And I, like Joel, work primarily in the FedEx ground contractor insurance marketplace and helping all of our clients find better solutions for their insurance.
Kevin, I think you're muted, sir.
I am muted. Thank you for that. Thank you guys, I think, for the third time in this past 2 minutes. Thank you guys for being here. These two have a lot of experience that they're going to be able to share with us and some really good takeaways. So without any further ado, I think we'll go ahead and get the session started, and I'm going to give the floor over to you guys.
David, you want to open up?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Basically, we wanted to talk to you guys today about creating a safety-conscious CSA or just a culture within your company and how that can impact costs as far as insurance goes. A lot of people think that they have insurance. That's why it's there. If they need to use it, they want to use it. But especially with workers' comp, claims have a direct impact on your premium. And managing or mitigating claims on the front end by creating a safety-conscious environment can help save you tens and maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 5-year or more period. So that's basically what we want to talk to you about today and how Impact Solutions can help you with that. Are we able to go to the second slide? So the main bullet points that we've come up with and we've talked about to contractors in terminals, having some safety meetings before dispatch and just educating people is creating a safety conscious culture starts with you. If you have multiple CSAs and you're more in a removed role as an owner or AO and you have a main BC in each location, then it starts with them. Obviously, you're the figurehead as the contractor, but they are your trusted person on the inside of that CSA. So you would want to have bullet point number 1, have yourself or that one BC, your main BC in that location, become the experienced trainer for onboarding new drivers. They're the one that sets the tone when it comes to a new driver coming into your company. They're the one that establishes your culture into that individual. And before you hand that driver off to a seasoned driver to learn a route or learn how the telematics work or what have you, you want to have your BC or yourself go with that driver for a couple days, implement to them how you want them to move a heavy package, a large package, how to use the hand truck, how to get in and out of a truck, where to park a truck when they're going to make a delivery in a residential area or a busy street or what have you. Just those second nature to you or your BC things that aren't second nature to a brand new individual. Starting everything off on the right foot is going to help quite a bit on mitigating or preventing injuries from happening just because you showed them the right way to do something the first time and reiterated to them while they were with you training for those couple days or week or what have you that you train them when they start. Anything to add to that, Joel?
Well, I really feel like one of the big benefits of bringing on employees and onboarding, new drivers when they go through these programs they begin to understand and realize how important it is and why these programs are in place to protect them when they're out there, on the road or when they're out there making deliveries. It's important that, that these drivers feel like they're cared about. And, using programs like this, it does more than just protect the driver. It also helps them to be better trained. And if you have a better trained driver, they're going to perform better. They're going to, deliver more packages more safely. There's going to be less of a chance of them getting injured. You have to, if you think about it from our perspective, with hundreds and hundreds of contractors all over the United States, we get to see all kinds of injuries on a regular basis. It's unfortunately it's part of the business, but we do, see those claims as they're coming through. And, it can be anything from, a dog bite, or someone spraining their ankle, receiving any type of injury. And you do start to see some operations in particular where they won't have any claims for 3 or 4 or 5 years, no claims at all. And those are CSAs that are very, very focused on having that safety culture. And then we'll have other clients, unfortunately, they'll have dozens of claims sometimes in a year if they're not paying attention and they're not taking the effort to to teach their employees, their drivers, how to be safe. And there's a lot to it. It's you see an injury, someone gets hurt, they get back to driving within a few weeks, they're better, the injury's taken care of, the workers' comp. But there are long-term effects. If you have multiple claims, and those begin to hurt things like your mod score. People say, mod score, what's that? You can think about it as sort of like your credit score. The more claims that you have, the lower your credit score is going to be, or the higher that your mod score is going to be. And, that's a way that you can have some control over what you're going to pay for your workers' comp. You implement a safety program that's effective, and it's going to protect that mod score. And so when you go to market, when you want to get a new quote, when you want to find out what your pricing is, if you have a good mod score, it's going to really, really help you get better pricing. And in turn, there are credits that are available as well in most states, not all states, but in most states. The underwriters, if they see that you've got a good safety program and they see that you have a good mod score, they're going to give you more of those credits. In some states, it could be 30 or 40%, sometimes even more. And those credits can really, really help save a lot of money for you. So those are some basics.
I think we're getting a little bit farther along, but on number one, basic thing, start the culture right. Joel will elaborate on some of the stuff he just spoke on as we get farther down. Number two, obviously having monthly safety meeting on top of the required training that all your drivers, any approved driver has to do, that they do monthly through Impact Solutions. And this doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a big to-do. It could just be 2 days during the month where at least all your drivers hear the same message one time. Typically before dispatch, a quick 5-minute just team meeting. And we like to tailor that or advise people to tailor it around the weather, the season, and your volume. Obviously, there's seasonality depending on where your CSA is. Some people have summer peaks, spring peaks due to the tourist industry that you deliver to. Obviously, there's winter peak for everybody, and winter can bring weather issues. Summer can bring weather issues if you're depending on where you're at in the country. So just a quick meeting about relevant safety measures to take during that time frame, and just so it's top of mind for your drivers. Guys, summertime, a lot of guys want to get out and go golfing or go to the lake, go fishing, go boating, what have you. They want to get done as fast as they can. Reminding guys and gals to stop, chart their path before they get out of the truck with a package, so they're not just jumping out of the truck into a hole and breaking an ankle or spraining an ankle or what have you. If they have a bulky package and it's wintertime, obviously maybe it's best to slowly walk your route before you actually get the package out of the truck and try to deliver it, so you're not slipping, falling, severely injuring yourself on the ice or a slick surface or what have you. So just a quick meeting, make everything top of mind for your drivers. Also, if you did have a work comp injury, I know Impact Solutions has hundreds, if not thousands, of safety videos. You can do a search within their database to find the safety video for, Joel is one of my employees. He jumped out of a truck, sprained his ankle. It might be broken. He's going to be out for a while. I'm searching Impact's database. I'm finding how to exit a vehicle or 3 points of contact or preventing ankle sprains, whichever video is relevant to this situation. I'm sending that to all my drivers. So they have a refresher on how to prevent what just happened to Joel, and it's top of mind. The easiest way to prevent claims is to have everything top of mind instead of trying to catch up on the back end once injuries have happened and now you're short-staffed or what have you.
Yeah. So, it's important to wrap yourself with a team around you that has the various skill sets. Having lots of counsel, especially on the insurance side of things and on the safety side of things, it's just part of putting together tools in your toolbox, so that when something comes up, you can reference either a person or policy or something that they've helped you with in the past. And that's just, it's a good way to operate your CSA, with those people and those tools around you. So, Kevin, do you want to open it up to any questions so far?
Actually, gentlemen, I kind of have a question of my own. So when you guys talk about having those meetings and doing those daily just powwows with your team or having your BC do that to encourage that safety conscious culture, how do you keep people engaged during that? Because I come from a very heavy management background, and we used to do this in food service where I worked. And I know one of the hardest parts of doing that meeting is keeping people interested in the content. So do you guys have any tips for that?
So there are lots of ways that I've seen it done, Kevin, and I've done a lot of these safety meetings myself where a contractor or multiple contractors will actually ask me to come into the terminal on the slowest dispatch day, if that's a Tuesday or Friday or Thursday or what have you, and we'll just sit down before dispatch. Sometimes we go to the conference room. Sometimes we have it out there on the belt and just talk about, the carrot. I've brought donuts in. We've implemented, everybody will get an hour of PTO for every week that they're safe or something like that, or even gift cards every month for the guys that are safe. We'll buy your lunch that, contractor buys their lunch that for 1 day a week or what have you, something like that. And I've seen it as, you guys want benefits. You guys want a 401k match. Say that's what this is going to take, because as granular as my insurance costs are here because of these claims and everything, if we can implement safety conscious culture and my insurance costs come down here, I'm matching 3% of your 401k. Obviously, those carrots are different for every size CSA, every size business, but there's something in there. And also, these aren't meant to be 20-minute long information intensive, bore you out of your mind meetings. They're a quick 5 minutes. Hey, Joel stepped out of the truck and he broke his ankle. We might not see Joel again for 8 weeks. Any of you other guys in the middle of summer want to break your ankle? Let's think about, before we step out of the truck, where we're stepping. Let's look. Let's take the 10 seconds to look. And if you're in a bad spot, pull the truck up or move the truck back or what have you. So it can be just that quick.
And I think the ways are a good idea. So if the drivers know they have to show up for that, and it's going to be a quick 10-minute call, if they know that maybe they're going to get a gift card, there's going to be a couple small giveaways, something like that, and you keep it short and to the point, it makes it easier to corral everybody together for that.
And it doesn't have to be a giveaway situation. I have clients that have been my clients for 4 years now since I got on the agency side that have 0 claims, and you're talking 30, 40 employees, and they have these meetings and they don't give anything away. They don't do safety bonuses. They treat their drivers well. They treat their drivers with respect. They pay their drivers well, but they also start everybody as soon as they step foot in the door and it's their first day of employment, they start them off on the right foot. We do things safely here because I know you want to get home at 3, you want to get back to the terminal at 3 o'clock so you can hit your 4 o'clock tea time. But if you got back at 3:15, you'd still hit that 4 o'clock tea time and you know you're safe. So an extra 15 minutes out of your route is no big deal versus 8 weeks of being out because you broke a bone, or even longer because you had to have surgery and physical therapy and what have you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Absolutely. Are you guys, where are we at now? Does that leave us at point 4?
I think Joel skipped 3 and 4, went right to 5. So Joel, do you want to talk about 3 and 4?
Well, going back to that section 3, I mean, it is the culture that you're creating. Sort of like David said a second ago, he's got, he has clients that have 30 or 40 drivers and they don't have to give giveaways. The reason they don't have to do that is because the drivers are happy there. They're happy where they're working. They understand that, they understand that their bosses or, their BCs are going to be looking out for them. So there's mutual respect. So when it's like, hey, Tuesday morning, it's a slow morning, we all got to get together for 10 minutes. Everybody shows up, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a carrot there, just to get people to show up. And they are going to do a better job when they're well trained, when they're getting in and out of the truck with 3 points of contact and, making sure that they're not going to, not get injured and be out for 6 or 8 weeks. I mean, that's PT. If you've ever had a real injury before, having to go through that, it's a huge pain and it's not fun. And, just reminding them, that's an important facet of what they need to be doing to be successful. So.
Yeah, and I think point number 3 is pretty self-explanatory from reading it and what we've talked about. And to kind of dig into point 4, I know Joel mentioned a mod. If you don't know what experience mod is, it's like a credit score for your workers' comp. Think of no claims as on-time payments and having good accounts being paid off. Think of multiple claims as late payments and charge-offs on your credit report. So the more claims you have, the higher your experience mod is. It means you get an additional debit on your workers' comp policy, and you will get less schedule credits in most instances from an underwriter because they're not willing to take the risk of buying your business due to the frequency or severity of the claims that you have had. And if you have no claims or minimal claims or offer light duty, and most of your claims are medical only bills, no temporary time off paid, then you're going to have a good mod score, like a good credit score. You're going to get additional credits on your policy. Underwriters are going to be willing to sell the farm to get your business, to give you schedule credits, and allow you to pay the lowest rate possible for your business. I don't want to give names, but I just helped a contractor from Kentucky move from a 7.89 rate to in the 2s because they saved they did some safety processes, changed some things. Their claims history got better. And you're talking about, if you don't know what your workers' compensation rate is, it's basically a percentage of gross payroll. So they're saving 5% on over $1 million in payroll. That's big money. And claims follow you for 4 years after you have one. So if you do things the right way when you have a claim, it's going to save you tons of money down the road.
I'm glad you mentioned that, David, because we had somebody in the question section actually ask, what is a mod score? And you guys went into that.
Yeah, I can get really technical with that just because of my underwriting background, but the easiest way to explain it is it's like a credit score only for your workers' comp. And claims are what dictate if you have credits or debits on your policy.
A nice little takeaway, David. You mentioned something a few minutes ago about light duty. What do we like to recommend to our insureds if they don't necessarily have something for light duty right off the bat? What are some helpful ideas for them?
Well, we can help our insureds with a program or examples if they need them. A lot of carriers now will party with a third-party company. Reemployability is a very popular one where you offer that employee light duty and you might not have a spot for them because you don't want them in the terminal sweeping around your belt or watching safety videos for 8 hours a day. So you're going to send them to the local Goodwill or whatever fits within their doctor's restrictions at that time so that they're still reporting to work. They're still, not sitting on their couch all day watching TV, seeing infomercials or commercials about lawyers hard at work, Better Call Saul or what have you. So that claims get closed faster. It keeps those employees active. The more blood flow to your body, the quicker injuries take to recover and what have you anyway. So it keeps them in the right mindset. And plus, if they hate standing at Goodwill, being a cashier for 8 hours a day, they're going to start feeling a lot better next time they go back to the doctor and want to get back in that driver's seat, going on their route with the freedom that comes with being a delivery driver, being able to basically dictate their day and their hours based on how they run the route.
Yep. Healed at the Goodwill.
Outstanding. Guys, that has been some great information. Wait just a second here to make sure nobody else has any questions they're sending into the chat. I'll come back up here. Do you guys have any closing remarks or thoughts or any just last notes? Other than how awesome it is to work at CIA?
Kevin, I like to talk, so I got to moderate myself a little bit. There's a lot to consider when you're, trying to pick out some people to go to market and see what kind of programs they can come up with for you. And I think one of the things to really consider is, look for a team that specializes in what you do. And that's what we do at CIA. So,
yeah, I guess if we're going to get into the insurance part of it to kind of elaborate on that, just because you go to church with an insurance agent or what have you, I have multiple relatives that own businesses and I don't help them with their insurance because commercial insurance is so segmented, just like we don't do benefits at Joel and I don't do benefits. We have somebody at CIA that's all they do are benefits. And we have somebody at CIA that's all they do is personal lines. So if you ask me to do your personal car insurance and home insurance, I'm going to refer you to Daniel at CIA. I'm not going to personally take care of that because there are so many different intricacies in insurance depending on what your actual business is. We don't like to get in that gray area. We're experts. We work with hundreds of contractors in almost every state. So that's really what we focus on is FedEx, and we know your business in and out. We know the lingo. Joel and I are actually heading into becoming contractors ourselves. So we eat, breathe, sleep FedEx. And that's why we've been so successful.
Well, congrats on that move, guys. I did get a couple more questions while we were wrapping up there. The first one says, what qualities should you be looking for in the team that you're building when you want to make a safety conscious culture?
I think the main thing now, obviously, we're coming off of COVID, and COVID was just putting butts in seats due to the demand, the e-commerce boom, what have you. Some stuff was not preventable then because it was just, hey, you got a pulse, you got past your first advantage, you're the only candidate I have, and I need a driver. Let's do it. There's going to be some bad apples. Very rarely can you go through your whole business career and be perfect as far as hiring employees. A dozen years ago, I owned a retail business. The thing I hated most about being a business owner was hiring and firing employees. I'd say just knowing what value statement you have and what your company means to you and kind of relaying that to them on their first day. Hey, this business is important to me. You're important to me because you represent this business. let's go kick some butt, and we're going to have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And just keeping your message consistent throughout their time of employment with you. And your managers have the same message. Like, we're on board. My main BC, Joel, and my secondary BC, Kevin, they tell you the same thing I would tell you. And we all represent the same thing, which is come to work, have fun, kick butt. Everybody makes money. And we go home to spend time with our families or what have you afterwards, because we're not getting hurt. We're not getting in accidents. We're hitting our service. We're, doing everything that we can to help you, a boss they care about, get the job done.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I agree with you, just from my experience in operating businesses, that the one thing that I've seen all successful leaders have in common is empathy and compassion for their employees. So showing your people that you genuinely care about them, you want them to be safe, and you want your business to contribute to the welfare of them and their families is always a good place to start, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
One other question here. Amanda asked, is there an email we can reach out to discuss shopping for new insurance? So I put your guys' slide back up here on the screen. Joel and David's emails are both down there at the bottom, as well as their phone numbers. So please, if you guys have any questions that we didn't get answered today, please feel free to reach out to these guys. Joel was one of the first people to extend a friendly olive branch to me as I started to make my way into the ISP space. So he's definitely been, someone I've looked to for a lot of experience and had some good conversations with. And thank you guys again for doing this with us today. I feel like this was really insightful and really productive. And yeah, thank you guys for being a part of it.
Thanks, Kevin. And I just want to point something out. Joel, your cell phone is wrong on that slide. Guys, it's area code 615. If you want to reach out to Joel, my mobile is the only phone I do business on. So call or text us anytime. Shoot us an email. Even if you just want help with an audit. We talk about audits, claims, look at over your current policy. Our advice is always free. You don't have to shop with us to get advice from us because we know that paying it forward is going to come back to us in tenfold.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. And, that's awesome. That's the kind of company we are at Kelly Anderson Group. And those are the kind of people we like to do business with. So absolutely. Well, thank you guys. And thank you everybody who attended today. We'll be sending out the recording of this. Those of you who registered will get a recording, I'm pretty sure, within the next hour after this ends. And then we'll upload to YouTube and distribute the link to that as well. So thank you guys for attending. And we'll be back in a couple of months with some more good tips on how to better your business. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.